Hi, hi, hi! Welcome to Serious Series. I'm very excited today, and the reason that I'm excited today is because we're going to talk about something that I never thought that I would talk about because I thought all the drama was over. Jada Pinkett Smith has lost her Red Table Talk. What has happened is that, according to today's by Variety, amid broad cost cutting measures, Meta is shuttering the Facebook Watch Originals group, whose small slate of shows include the breakout hit Red Table Talk. So it's not closing down the show because of Jada Pinkett Smith herself or the quality of the show. It's because Meta is looking to save on costs. And I kind of understand there was only one show on Meta that I actually liked. And so it is sensible that they move on. But I am still glad that it is over because I did not like Red Table Talk. I feel sorry for Steve Harvey, but I did not like Red Table Talk for a number of reasons. Those are one, they had nothing to add. It was just a stream of banshees going, yes, yes, oh, wow, in my mind. Two, toxic. One thing that we could always say is that, okay, they're talking about things that help people, and a lot of persons comment in the comment section, oh, I was thinking about this topic, and oh, this is really helping me. And I understand that, but the angle at which that they are taking some of the topics is a concern to me. Three, again, the yeah, yeah, yeah. I know I'm going back and I know I'm repeating. She did help Jordan Smith when the Kardashians screwed her over. I would give her credit for that. But instead of me just talking about the things that I don't like, let's look at a few videos and let me just show you why they piss me off. Let's go. So the approach that we're going to take is we're going to look at a few clips, three specifically, and then we are going to make a commentary. Now, the purpose of my videos are usually to practice some empathy, to put ourselves in the shoes of others. But I'm going to give you some highlights or a heads up right now. I don't think I'm going to do that. That's just how much I am so cautious of the Red Table Talk and what it presents. It really concerns me. And these clips were chosen at random, except the last one. So let's go.
Next, Red Table Talk. Ask us anything. We're answering your burning questions.
How long did it take you and Will's ex-wife to get to the place you are now? Bitch, you living in a house I picked out.
That's some cold. Willow, did you ever feel like you needed to defend your parent?
Okay, so a lot of what Red Table Talk brought it wasn't really about society, and it sometimes it was about society. They brought persons in about child management, child marriage. They brought persons in about drug addiction, but it always seemed to turn on themselves. So even in this small clip, what they did was they asked the audience to basically ask us what you want to know. And is that beneficial? The Red Table Talk is not about coming and laying things on the table. It's about coming and laying themselves on the table. And a lot of it was too much information. TMI. I mean, why do I need to know whether or not Willow saw some things that their parents were not supposed to be doing? Why do I need to know if the month after July is with Jada? Why do I need to know all of the grandmother's issues with respect to drugs, or even the fact, why do I even know that she got married 4 times? Why do I even know these things? And while these things may be beneficial to others, it wasn't presented in such a way.
For any untrue things in the press.
Yeah, I felt like that all the time.
When someone called Child Protective Services,
That was the first time I'd ever got furious. practice. Plus, Jordan.
Now, this is the thing. This is the good thing about them. So I'm going to do good and I'm going to do bad. I'm going to try my best to practice empathy, as I said. They did normalize certain things. A lot of us feel like we are alone in the world with respect to our experiences. The fact that they even had that experience with CPS, a lot of persons are like maybe living in a world where they are like, my mother or my father got called on CPS, and I'm so ashamed because of where I am right now. I managed to come out of those spaces, but I would never tell anybody in my job, a friend, a family, a new family, a husband, a boyfriend, what I experienced. So they kind of normalized that.
And said she would take a lie detector test. My friends and I really want to know if she did.
That's the show that I get asked about the most.
Yeah, I appreciated what they did for Jordan Woods. I know I said Jordan Smith earlier, but Jordan Woods. What they did for Jordan Woods was great. Sometimes you have to indeed use strength, the strength that you have to fight against another strength. If Jordan Woods did not have their help, to be honest, because what they did was they even called the Kardashians as well, is what I heard allegedly. They used their power to fight against another power. And I wish the table did more of that in a more direct way instead of just talking. So let's continue.
Next, Red Table Talk.
So what was that feeling that made you decide, like, all right, I gotta talk to some?
Before we even start, I love me some Common, especially when he was younger. As he got older and he dated a slew of women, it's like, oh geez, settle down now. Wait, what you waiting on? You wanna? Well, for one thing, I will tell him at least he's not Tyrese Gibbs, or Gibson, because at least he's not out here with crying over women or women screwing him over. So I guess he's not missing out on anything by getting married. But yeah, he's a good looking man.
Body.
I was in a breakup, and I remember it was strange.
Sometimes when she looks like that, let's go back a little bit. Do you think that is the face of empathy? Even narcissists, because I've had some experience with narcissists, even narcissists have the capacity to feign empathy, to pretend like they are really absorbing what you are saying. And sometimes I wonder, by the look on her face, is she really absorbing what persons are saying, or are they preparing to have a rebuttal or to say something that is about them? I don't know.
It's strange because I was in the car with Amoye, and we were about to fly somewhere, and I had to get in the back seat to talk in private to the therapist. But
oh gosh, look at his teeth, so nice.
But I needed it right then and there, because I was going through a pain that was just like, I got to get this off me so I could be better for myself.
Now the daughter, I think it's her presence that kind of brought the question of whether or not they have the capacity to understand other person's experiences. The daughter really tries, but sometimes I feel as if she's too young for the red table because she's not able to bring a mature perspective to things. So sometimes she sits in the red table and she has nothing to say that is of substance or of value, and then she opens her mouth and then it's proven that she has nothing to say that is of substance or of value. I know that she's young. I understand that she's young. But sometimes I wish that they would bring more topics that are more into her field. At a point in time, I saw that there were a few episodes with her alone talking about things that she could identify with, which is really good. But the majority of the times, she's just there, just trying to look empathetic and trying to understand the person's experience. And it's so clear and so obvious.
For Amoye, for everything that I'm doing.
Let's go to the next video. Before we start the last video, I just realized something. The name of this show is Table Talk. So from the first video when I said, I wish they did something more direct, it just hit me in creating this video that the name of the show is Table Talk. Of course, they're not going to do anything more direct. But you know what? Even in talking, you could do more. And so let's just continue and let's see what they have to expose about themselves. Now, before we go into this again, and I keep saying before we go into this, but before we go into this, this is a very sensitive topic. This is about drugs. If you know that you may be triggered by this video, please let me know, and please let yourself know, more importantly, and you could switch off the video. I mean, I'm a new YouTuber. I would love if you like, share, subscribe. I care about you that much, but I prefer if you just not watch the video or the rest of the video if it will trigger you.
I was addicted to heroin until I was in my teens. I could tell when my mother was high. She couldn't make it on time to pick me up from school, or she's nodding off, falling asleep in the middle of something. You just realize, oh, that's not being tired. That is like a drug problem.
Now, before we continue, again, it's really it's a good thing that they are talking about this. This is, by talking about problems and issues, it helps people. But I find a lot of spaces in America and in the world, actually, there is a lot of talking and little action. So, for example, just going to use the manosphere. There is a lot of talking about what men need to be and how you need to carry yourselves. But are there active approaches to target boys? Are there active approaches to help young boys become proper men? Are you leaving your YouTube space and going into the world and helping your community to be better? That's the thing that sometimes I wonder about. And I never heard on Red Table Talk, okay, we spoke about this, and so the contributions from this video is going to help this group that actually assists or drug addicts to wean off of drugs, right? So I've never heard that. In fact, before I even finish edit this video, I'm going to look for that, and I will put it in the left hand side if I am to be if I need to be corrected. But I've never heard that. And so we're talking about something that is painful, yes, and that might identify with person, yes, but is it really helping anybody? And let's see if it actually helps anybody. And we might skip some spaces as well.
Couldn't hide the unmanageability of my life and the emotional damage and the spiritual damage that I did to myself and to her. You know, that was devastating.
Now, this is something good. And while persons talk, while they are talking, and while persons refer to the show as this great show, are you taking the lessons, the tiny lessons that they are actually giving you? Even though they mightn't go out into the world, and I'm just here complaining how they aren't going out to the world instead of spending money on their very expensive cameras that are showing in the back. Are you as a person learning the lessons? Because look what the mom just said. Look what Adrian just said, or Adrian just said. She said, I have caused hurt. How many of you boomers, and I don't like that term because I really don't get it, or you Gen Xers, are out here not speaking to your children and wondering why and refusing to acknowledge the hurt and the pain that you have caused to your young ones, right? The decisions that you have made that have been selfish and has disregard the needs and wants of your kids. Are you acknowledging that? Now, while we could say a lot about Jada and her family and Will, that is a light in the darkness, that there is a mature woman who, at least, because she has a lot of flaws, I have seen things in the videos where I am like, why aren't you speaking up? Why aren't you saying something? Why aren't you correcting your daughter? Even though she's older, because parenting do not stop in my book. But she does acknowledge, and it may be she's not correcting Jada out of the guilt of the pain that she has caused, but at least she's acknowledging it. And are you acknowledging it?
alcoholism and drug addiction runs through my family, and I've had my own addictions that I've had to get over, and just made me realize that really great people just get caught up. I abused drugs for over 20 years.
There's a stigma and a stereotype attached to addiction that makes it difficult for people to seek the help that they need. So, if I can in any way help with just a little bit with some of that, then it'll be worth it.
Awesome. So let's skip to the table and get the discussion going.
Yep.
I'm proud of you, Ken.
No tears. No tears.
Or
That's
tears.
tears of joy right there.
Yeah.
You made it through.
Yeah, that let me tell you,
That part.
that's exactly.
You made it over.
Yeah.
Those are tears of triumph.
I believe that is August. Yes, the big A on the neck, the red scarlet letter of shame.
Yes.
But I guess I'm just sad thinking about the fact that I wasn't even at that time doing it for myself.
But
I got there though.
yeah, but you know
I
what?
got there.
Sometimes it does take that. It takes something outside of us to give
Yes.
us that hope, to give us, okay, I want to reach for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In order to get the strength. Because guess what? If we had it for ourselves, we wouldn't even be there.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's hard for me to even really talk about our journey together because it's not believable.
I know.
It just brings me so much joy, and I'm always so freaking grateful because we made it.
Right.
All right, so this is very interesting. And this has made me change my mind. I'm going to change my mind in the middle of my video, and I'm not going to edit it because it's my video. That I'm going to add the fourth video because I just realized something. When they are talking about their own issues, they easily, the words can't come out of my mouth. They easily empathize with each other. No holds bar, no limitation on tears, easy connection with each other. There is no question that they have the capacity to connect and feel for another human being, but it's a human being in their own life.
August, let me ask you first, because I'm really proud of you too. Let me just start there real quick, because how I decided to come up with to do this particular show was really listening to the conversations between my mother and August. August Alsina is an incredibly talented R&B.
Now, given what I have seen with respect to the videos with her interviewing Will Smith or Will Smith interviewing her on the Red Table Talk after the whole debacle with August Alsina coming out, I can easily see her fondness for August Alsina, and it is uncomfortable. And the first thing that comes to mind is this family is very interesting because even the grandmother has a relationship with August.
Singer. He's had many, 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 many hits. He came to see Willow and Jaden perform in 2015 in London, and that's where we met. And he asked me that day, he was like, man, I could really use...
No, lady. No, I have committed many sins in my life, and as this channel grows, so like, share, subscribe, I may tell the stories of my sins, but the gap that this woman has is too much. You can see the difference in energy. She has an older energy. And to try to pair her energy with his energy, I could see why she was attracted to him, to be honest. But I would have felt a ways about trying to pair with someone 20 years younger. Again, I have sins. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person. I'm not saying that I could go on a pulpit and shame anybody. But look at the body. I'm not even a body. I'm not the body guy either. I'm not Juan. But look at that. Look at her energy is saying to me that she really wishes that she was younger.
Some help dealing with life, and then come to find out that he was abusing Percocet. August and I and my mother and the family as a whole has been pretty much on this journey with August towards his healing. So, I want to talk about your...
So, given all that we know right now, what is healing? Just to say that we can't heal anybody unless we are healed ourselves. That's all I have to say. Y'all make your judgment with respect to Jada Pinkett Smith.
I'm trying to think how to say it.
We had pills.
No, that's the thing, both.
Well, weed.
No, let's talk about the pills.
Let's talk about the pills.
Let's talk about the pills, because this is interesting to me, because you had an accident where you fell off the stage.
Yes. I was pretty much just like doing way too many shows, not taking care of myself. I was drinking so much liquor, smoking so much weed, and just one night at a show in New York, I literally...
Oh my gosh, look at her energy. Look at her energy. It's a mother type of energy. So how did it become intimate? How could an energy of caring turn into that? And that is where the I and y'all know what I want to say, etc. came in, because that's the type of action you did, because he's basically your son, right? How could you let a mother energy turn into that? Because you still have that mother energy, because this interview is after that experience.
He passed out and like in the middle of a show and fell off the stage.
It was a pretty serious accident because you went into convulsions and
I was in a coma for 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said also that they had to bring you back to life.
Yeah, I flatlined like twice, according to my boy, my security.
So you were given Percocets in order to deal with the pain of the fall.
Yeah. I literally had an endless supply of perks. Like, if you ask my brother, anybody, they're like, yeah.
So let's skip a little way down, because I really want to get to video 4, okay?
Dealing with your own reality for whatever reason, the discomfort, and you have to be willing to learn another way to cope with whatever is going on with you. Because at the end of the day, when the weed is gone, that problem is still there.
And see, that's my thing. There's so many opportunities in front of me, and I don't want to get high one day and not be the best at that, and then that opportunity is gone because I need.
So this is actually good, right? But it's also bad. I understand what they are doing here. They are trying to counsel young persons away from drugs. But even in this situation where her whole family enveloped August, you are not professionals. You are not. And this is why I had a problem with the Red Table Talk. A lot of what they said and a lot of what they do, a professional, and I am not a professional either, but I question it. A lot of what they do can be very dangerous. You are basically taking a young person's life into your hands and helping them and giving them direction when you yourself have not conquered 100% in certain things, in my view, right? Because you yourself are out here, and even in the video where Will Smith shunned Jada Pinkett Smith because she wanted to videotape him, and he was like in a bad position, and he was like, this is not a time to videotape me, my brand is very important to me. And she was calling the relationship doctor's name and saying, you need to come back and help us. You are still getting help, and I do not believe anyone who is getting help to the extent that they are claiming to continuously get help and untrained at the same time should be doing this sort of counseling. There is this line between support and counseling. Support, you listen, you show up, but to say that you are directing someone's life in crafting a path for someone's life, you should not be doing that, because obviously from the slap, from the fact that you slept with him, from the fact that you keep shaming your husband, you are not crafting your own path properly. No one should be taking advice from anyone who has not conquered their own life. That's all I'm saying. Yes, they may have in the past made a lot of mistakes. Once they conquer it, they can give all the advice in the world. But have they conquered it? Has she conquered it? Let's go to the last video. So we are on the last video. I checked. I just wanted you guys to know that I did a check on whether or not Jada Pinkett Smith and her family actually contribute to anyone in charity. I have not found anything as yet. I think I'll just keep looking after I do this recording. But let's go into this video quickly to wrap this video up. We're almost there. This is Ramani, Dr. Ramani. I'm sure you guys know who she is. She's the narcissist specialist. And what they are going to do now is invite writers or callers in to video call them to tell them about their story with their narcissist. So I want to really gauge their capacity to empathize with a stranger. Let's go.
Being too sensitive is a classic example of gaslighting, because you are actually denying someone's emotions. That never happened. I never said that. You're crazy. You're the narcissist. That's all gaslighting. It's like being in a cult. It's like living with a bunch of mirrors, but none of them show your own reflection. That's what it's like to be in a narcissistic relationship.
Wow.
I mean,
oh my God, that's so scary.
They overtake their minds, and the person is so confused that it gets to be too hard to leave. They actually believe they're a bad person, they're too sensitive, they're foolish, they're stupid, and that's their self-talk.
Where does that term come from? Because I don't even get how that term means what it means.
It comes from a movie called Gaslight. And it was about a man who lived in a house back in the old days when you had gaslights and you could turn them up and down and change the intensity of the light. And he kept fooling with the levels of the gaslight. And she'd say, "Oh, have you turned up the lights?" He said, "No, the lights haven't been turned." And she goes crazy.
Yes.
She goes completely mad.
She goes insane.
She goes insane. Yeah.
No, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's because I struggle. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. But you see, when they uniformly say, yes, oh, yes, that triggers me. Not even triggers me. It just annoys me. Trigger means that I feel bad. I don't feel bad. I just get really annoyed. And I really do not know why. But so far what I have seen is that Willow she has it may seem as if I'm judging their capacity to empathize, and I feel like I'm doing that. So now I'm empathizing with myself. Am I judging their empathy with my empathy? Most likely yes, but I'm just trying to show you my concerns with the red table. Willow empathizes, grandmother empathizes. Sometimes I wonder about Jada Pinkett Smith when there's something that is being spoken about that is not really relating to her or what she really cares about.
Oh my God,
that's where the
so
term
crazy.
comes from.
We asked you, our RTT fam, about how narcissism has affected your lives, and we received thousands of messages from across the world. First, we have Elisa, from Chicago. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, everyone.
So nice to meet you.
So share with us what's going on.
My situation is a little tricky.
Okay.
It's about my mother.
Oh, wow.
Basically, growing up, my mother has always made statements like, all my kids do is take from me. She's made statements that her life would be better off without children. And so when I decided to become a mother, which was a big choice, especially when you hear growing up that kids are not a great idea, I found myself triggered for just being a mom. Ooh. But I would look at him with resentment and anger. All
right. Did you see Jada's face? Did you see Jada's face? Think about Jada's face to the face that she had for August. Think about that. Just a little bit. Even Dr. Ramani is trying to sympathize. Now, there is a difference, and I'm not a therapist, as I say in my description below, but there is a difference between sympathize and empathize, right? From my understanding, sympathize means to agree with the person's experience. Empathize means to put yourself in the person's shoes, right? So Dr. Ramani is doing that. But Jada's face is just dead stone wall, like that stone wall in the back on the wall of Dr. Ramani.
Same way that I experienced as a kid, even to this day. And we can talk on the phone for a little bit, or she can come for a visit, and then I'm sad, I'm angry. So with someone,
even the grandmother is like showing some amount of emotion.
Like myself, who has a relationship with a parent who can exhibit some narcissistic traits, how do you continue on in your life? And how do you stop yourself from inflicting that type of pain on your own kid?
Wow. It's such a great question. First of all, you said an important word, which was grief. Many ways when a person has a narcissistic parent, what they grieve is that...
But is that a narcissistic parent though? And I see a lot online. Of course, we like to label everybody narcissistic. I've labeled people in my life narcissistic based on their behavior, and it's to the extreme, and it's only because I've experienced them, so I know for sure that they are narcissistic. But when a person is talking to another person about the person in their life that is mistreating them, we must be careful, because she said, the woman in the yellow glasses and the yellow shirt and the yellow coat and the yellow table in the back and the yellow blanket on her couch, she said narcissistic traits. She did not say narcissist, right? So this is my problem with Dr. Ramani. And I love Dr. Ramani. Dr. Ramani actually helped me through a lot. I am not judging Dr. Ramani in any way. I love her. She's helped because of the work that she has done. It's been active work, as I have been saying, especially with respect to the Red Table Talk. It's been active work to help people understand. But it's become like an infection now, where everybody is narcissist. You are narcissist. You are narcissist. We're all the Oprah of narcissism, giving out narcissism to everybody who we do not like in terms of our label. So that's my problem with Dr. Ramani at this point, that we must always be careful to label people. We could say they have a lot of narcissistic traits, but unless we have that PhD behind our name and that doctor in front of our name, we as individuals shouldn't be labeling anyone. And even though she has those things, she should be assessing persons based on the criteria in her field, in a room with the person, not on the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett, her daughter, and her mom.
They didn't get the thing that every child deserves, which is a loving, consistent parent. And that's a huge part of the healing, recognizing that so you can grieve it and let it go. What's striking me, though, is you still have contact with your mom, and those conversations leave you feeling depleted, invalidated. Those are classical reactions. Part of your healing is putting up better boundaries with mom. I don't care if you have to set a timer during those phone conversations. You might notice that you hit the wall at 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Do not stay on the phone with her for too long, because I hate to say it, and forgive me for being this dismissive, but it's like a toxin. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you keep taking it in, you're not going to feel good. Being invalidated doesn't feel good. And I actually applaud you for your willingness to try to maintain that relationship, but you have to do it in a way that preserves you. You need to learn to mother you because you didn't get.
No, this is the thing, right? Dr. Amini is not wrong, right? I always wondered what persons mean by mothering you. If my mother did not mother me in a certain way, the only way I would know how to mother me is the way she mothered me. That has always stuck in my mind. So I must find a different identity to take care of me. And this is just me. I'm not a therapist, as I always say. But I don't like that term, mother you, because the only mother that has been an example to me in this woman's case is my mother. And that mother, in this woman's case, is very toxic when it comes to her words.
That. So in some ways, resenting your son is because you're having to mother yourself. At the same time, you're mothering your son.
Wow. Now that is no lie. And this is why I'm saying it should not be the same identity. It shouldn't. Because if I have to do that for someone else, I need to be something else for myself. I need to be a friend. I need to be an aunt, a cool aunt. I need to be whatever identity that has been good to me in life.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
And all Jada could say is that deep, and she's struggling to just in the body movements, you know. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I want someone to tell me if I'm wrong. And let's have a discussion. Say something in the comments if you've gotten this far.
And it's courageous. Yeah. You are not to blame for your mother dropping the ball. That was her responsibility. Make sure you stay clear on that.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Elisa. I hope that helps you on your journey. So yes. Now we have Sharon from New York. Hi, Sharon. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me. So my ex-boyfriend and I have 2 children together. He's a narcissist, jealous, and controlling. About 4 months ago, I broke up with him. And
again, he may have narcissistic traits, but you don't know. We are just labeling everyone we don't like as narcissist. And it's not serving the purpose of just seeing persons for what they are. You see, by labeling everyone as narcissist, you might be not seeing the person, the good and the bad, for what they are. You are just pushing everyone into the red zone of a red flag.
I have been attempting to co-parent, but it's been horrible. He continues to try to control me, being jealous, asking me where I am, and even goes as far as texting my son to get the answers. When I tell him we're no longer together, he plays a victim and we get nowhere. So I need to know, how do I navigate this?
Your ex-husband is just a joke. Based on my in-depth study of narcissists for years, because I indeed do have one. Others, I could say, okay, you have narcissistic traits, but I indeed do have one, because someone who has the PhD and the DR, the PhD in the back and the DR in the front, actually met him and assessed him. And I won't go through that story. Maybe if you guys like and subscribe sometime later, I may. But you know, I do have one in my life, and from this, he just sounds like a real jerk. A narcissist would have taken that to a whole other level. The fact that you even have your son, the fact that you wouldn't have your son if you had a narcissist in your life. He wouldn't be trying to just control you. He will be going to every person in your life to make them hate you.
I want my kids to have a relationship with their dad, but at the same time, I need to have healthy boundaries in place for that to happen.
You know, so Sharon...
Now, she is traumatized. I could see it. she is traumatized. So let's see what Dr. Ramani has to say.
You said something interesting. I'm co-parenting with him. You're actually not. You're a single parent with an elephant on your back. You are going to have to be the strong link in this chain for them. You're going to be the one who teaches them empathy. You're going to be the one who teaches them how to manage their emotions. And you have to be that consistent.
Okay, so I want to wrap up here because I don't want the video to be too long. Just take a look at Jada's face. Just a small look at Jada Pinkett's face.
Boundaries in place for that to happen.
You know, so Sharon, you said something interesting. I'm co-parenting with him. You're actually not. You're a single parent with an elephant on your back. You are going to have to be the strong link in this chain for them. You're going to be the one who teaches them empathy.
Right there. And watch everyone else's face. It's not the same as the passion and the care and the love she has for August Alsina. It's not. And so I'm also grateful at the end of the day that they bring experts. But in instances where they only have them and they are giving advice to people, I do not agree with that. Anyway, this is the end of the video. This is The Theorist. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.